Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Disney College Program video for you. This one is going to be about my crazy guest stories. If you don't know, I'm an alumni of the Disney College Program. I did the Spring 2017 program and the Fall 2018 program. So this is only going to be about my past program, the Fall 2018. I did front desk at a value resort. So being front desk, you deal with a lot of guest situations, and today I'm going to be telling you the three craziest I've personally seen and dealt with. I have a lot of these stories, but I'm just gonna give you the three that I most remember. So the first story happened, it was pretty much in the beginning, sometime in September. I worked until 1:30 a.m. that day, and about a half an hour before you clock out, you get to pull from the desk, which means you get to leave the desk and do your bank out, which normally takes a half an hour. That's why you have to bank out a half an hour early. So it was around 12:55 a.m., and I was about to pull, but we kind of had a long line, so I was like, I'll just take one more guest. You know, it shouldn't take too long. It's late. I'm sure they're not checking in. They might just have a question. So this guy comes up to me, and he had a problem with the buses. So that night he spent at Disney Springs. He was getting a bus back to the resort, and I guess the bus at Disney Springs just wasn't showing up to take him back, and he said he waited over an hour for it. So obviously that is frustrating. I understand that, but he has to talk about it to a leader. So I went and got my leader. And when your leader is talking to a guest, you kind of have to stand behind them and just, like, wait until they're done. So I did that. By this time, it was 1 a.m. I was supposed to pull, but I couldn't because my leader was talking to the guest. And he just went on about it for, I want to say, around 35 minutes. By the time he walked away from the desk, it was 1:35. Like, that was supposed to be. My bank out time was 1:30. I was supposed to clock out, so I had to clock out late that day, unfortunately, but that's fine, I guess. That's not the crazy part about it. So I clocked out late. I worked the next day. So our resort had about 23, 25 computers in total at the desk. I would say about like 20 of them were front desk, and the other ones were for concierge, which was down further. I was on register, I want to say like register 3 or 4. And I can hear a man screaming. He was all the way down at the concierge line, like by registers like 23, 24, 25. He was screaming, I guess because he was waiting for a bus at the resort to take them to Magic Kingdom, and I guess it wasn't showing up. And it was that same guy I had the night before complaining about the buses to Disney Springs. He was like, I can hear him, he was so far away, and I can hear him screaming, "There needs to be a bus here right now!" And he was swearing. I'm not going to swear or anything, but he was just saying, like, "There needs to be a bus right now. I'm sick of effing waiting." And he was just screaming, and then he just stormed out. He didn't even wait in line to, like, let us know that the bus was late. He just walked up to the cast member and started screaming, totally cut the line, and then stormed off. So I don't really know what happened with that. All I remember is the cast member who he was yelling at went to the back and got a leader, and the leader went to go find him. I don't know if they found him. I don't know, but it was just crazy how he was acting. Like, I understand that it's really frustrating when the buses are late, but there is no need to scream like that. It was just insane. Now for story number 2. This happened towards the middle of my program. I didn't deal with this person myself. I just kind of observed from a distance. So I just remember one day I was checking people in, and I heard over my shoulder, like from 2 cast members down, my friend was dealing with a guest. I was just kind of overhearing it because the guest was being kind of loud. She was checking her in. It was a woman with a little kid, and apparently they had booked her in a certain area she did not want. She wanted the Dalmatian section. And I guess we couldn't put her there because it was already booked. And all I remember her saying, like, I can hear her, she was saying, like, "My daughter wanted Dalmatians. We asked for this. We need it right now." And she starts crying, and she was just being really dramatic about it. And the thing is, the little girl was not even a year old, it looked like. So I kind of find it hard to believe that she really wanted this section, because kids that young just don't realize what's going on. But she said she asked for the Dalmatian section, she wanted it, she needed it, she had to have it, she asked for it for months, all this stuff. So we tried to accommodate her the best we can. I guess we couldn't get her in there for that night because it was booked, but we could have moved her the next day. So while this was happening, I went on my break. I thought that's the last I'd ever see of her, but the next day this lady storms into the lobby screaming, "Where's my stuff? Why can't I get in my room?" and all this stuff. So I guess we did move her room to the Dalmatian section. We told her the day before that we can move her and that we're going to move her tomorrow just so she gets to be in the Dalmatian section. We told her that. We told her we're going to move her stuff to her new room from her current room. So I guess the next day when they went to the park and everything, we did the room change, but she claimed that no one told her we were doing the room change, even though we told her, like, the next day, just come to the desk, we're going to give you your new room number and all this stuff. But all I remember her is coming in screaming that she didn't know where her stuff was. She didn't know why she couldn't get into her room and all this stuff. She was just screaming. And all I remember is my FSA, which is like a coordinator, was talking to her, and my FSA told her, like, we did move your room, ma'am. And she was like, nobody told me. And I'm not going to repeat like what she said because it was just insane. She had food from Wendy's and she was just screaming that her food's cold now and she doesn't want cold food, and she didn't want to eat our food from the food court because it's not edible and it was just garbage, and it was just insane. She was screaming. She did calm down after a while. So basically she got a room change that she said she didn't ask for, but the day before she was screaming that she wanted the room change. So I think it was just a big miscommunication and she should have calmed down about it. I kind of understand why she was mad because she didn't get the section that she wanted, but we did end up helping her and getting her into that section. She was just acting insane, screaming, she was crying, and like, I understand people's frustrations, but you can't act like that. Like, it just makes it harder for us to help you. So yeah, I don't know what ended up happening with her. I hope she found her room to be okay, and it was just insane how she was acting. Okay, so I saved the best story for last. This happened on my very last day of work on the Disney College program. I knew something crazy would happen to me on my last day. This was by far the craziest guest I've ever encountered in both of my programs. So it's kind of a long story. I'll try to shorten it the best that I can. It was a normal day. I was checking people in. This woman walked up to me. The first thing she says was, "I'm not very happy." So I'm thinking, great. So I asked her, like, what's wrong? What happened? So this woman had 2 rooms. One was for her and her husband, and the other one was for her daughter who has a family. It was like a daughter, a husband, and kids. She said she had 2 rooms. For months, she said, for months they asked for the Toy Story section of the resort. And she requested it like every day for months. She called. She wanted to make sure she got it. So it turns out in the earlier part of the day, she got a text saying her room was ready in building number 9, which is Toy Story. And that was good. But then she got another text a few hours later saying that she got building 8 Fantasia. So this all happened like while she was at a park. So she was wondering why she did get her Toy Story room, but then we had to move it. So I did some investigating, and what I found was we had 2 rooms for them adjoining in Toy Story, but it looked like the people in those rooms that were supposed to check out ended up extending, and for that reason we couldn't put them in those rooms, and it turns out there was no other rooms in Toy Story for that night. So I think they were there for about 4 to 5 days. We couldn't get them in Toy Story that night, but we could get them in Toy Story the next day. So they just had to be in Fantasia for one night, which was right next to the Toy Story section. And she just would not take no for an answer. I tried to tell her, like, you know, like, the rooms inside aren't themed to Toy Story. Like, they're all actually themed the same. The only thing that's themed is the outside part of it, like the courtyards, and she just was not taking no for an answer. Like, she starts crying. Like, she wasn't yelling or anything. She was just, like, crying, like, really upset that she didn't get Toy Story because it was her grandson's favorite movie, and they all had matching Toy Story shirts, and now they can't wear them, which doesn't make sense. You could still wear your shirts. But she was just really upset. Like, she would not take no for an answer. So I had to get a leader. They talked to her, and then I went on break. I thought everything was solved. I thought they would just take the room change for tomorrow. But it turns out that wasn't the case. Come back from my break, and this woman walks up to me. I knew it was the woman's daughter because she kind of looked like her, and they had matching shirts too from that day. So I knew it was the daughter. I was reading the comments on the reservation that said room change is set up for tomorrow, but the daughter is livid over it because I guess they spoke to the daughter over the phone. And she came up to me. She was like, so I just want to know what's going on. I already knew what was going on because I had her mother earlier. She's like, I just want to know what's going on. I'm being told that I can't get my Toy Story room. And from there, it was just downhill. So I knew from that point this was going to be a problem. So instead of me trying to help her at all, I just got a leader. He basically told her, like, ma'am, we're sorry, we can't get you in Toy Story tonight, but we can get you there tomorrow. And that's when everything happened. She starts banging on the counter, screaming at us, "You're not gonna get me what I want! You're not gonna get me what I want!" Like, I'm not even, like, being as... She was being so loud, swearing, all this stuff, banging on the counter. I think her mother was trying to calm her down, even though the mother was mad too. Like, I thought she was gonna punch my leader in the face. Like, I was just standing behind my leader the whole time, and... That's a lie, not the whole time. After a few minutes, I actually went to the back because I literally did not feel safe anyways. But the husband's like, come on, man, like, she's pregnant, like, we can't do a room change, like, she can't do all this stuff because she's pregnant, and we can't do it, and how are you going to treat her like this? And we told them, like, if we're doing the room change, we have Bell Services who can help you. And, like, you don't have to move all your stuff. She just kept saying that she was pregnant. I'm like, I understand, ma'am. I understand. I get it. But we physically cannot put you in Toy Story tonight. She just would not take no for an answer. My leader said, if you don't calm down, we have to call security. But I just look over and I saw one of my fellow cast members already on the phone with security, and it was just insane the way she was acting. Like, I get it, you wanted that section, but we just couldn't do it for one night. Like, I don't understand what the big deal was. Just for one night in a different section. The rest of her stay, she'd be fine in the Toy Story section, but she just did not want that one night in Toy Story. I guess because I understand, like, they didn't want to go through the process of unpacking all their stuff and moving it again, but there was no reason why she had to act like that. It was insane. And of course, it was on my last day. I knew something crazy was going to happen to me on the last day. It's just, I don't understand how somebody can act like that. She was screaming, banging on the counter. Like, I literally thought she was going to punch us in the face. It was so bad. She just kept saying, I'm pregnant. You're not going to give me what I want. We can't wear our matching shirts. My son's going to be so upset because he loves Toy Story. I'm like, it was bad, you guys. It went on for a while. Even when I went to the back to, like, get myself safe, I can hear her yelling from the back office. It was bad. Like, even some of my FSAs, like, they were, like, consoling me in the back. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was a little shook because I never heard someone screaming that loud. And I don't know, that was my last day. I guess she got what she wanted the next day, you know? I don't know, because that was my last day, but I cannot believe she was acting that way. Like, part of me felt bad for her, but at the same time, I'm just like, you do not have to act like that. It was crazy. So those are my 3 craziest guest encounters that I've had. I know they don't seem as crazy as other stories you'd hear, like nobody punched us in the face or anything, but it was still pretty crazy when people are screaming at the top of their lungs when you're trying to help them. Like I said, front desk is a role that you have to deal with a lot of that kind of stuff. It's not fun. It wasn't really good learning experience for me though. I have plenty of other stories. If you want to hear them, let me know. I'll maybe do a part 2. But that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. But that's everything. I hope you guys have a magical day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!